According to a Gallup poll done in 2022, 60% of people report being emotionally detached at work, with 19% reporting being miserable. Bruh, miserable? We're talking miserable? You know how heavy your disdain's gotta be to label something miserable? That is unacceptable. There are 168 hours in a week. And if one spends 40 hours a week at work, then 60% of us are spending at least 1/4 of our existence unhappy. Now we gotta change that. And that doesn't always involve straight up just quitting your job, which is an option, but not one some of us have the luxury of doing on a dime. So in this particular drop, I wanna share some things that have helped me in all life situations and continue to today when things don't go as planned, which is more often than you might think. To start, I want to bring in my guy, Eckhart Tolle, who has some love on this topic.
If you're unable to enjoy what you're doing, then it's time to move to another job. But you have to look to see whether your inability to enjoy the job you're doing now has something to do with the particular job you're doing, or has more to do with your inability to enjoy the present moment. In which case, the next job that you find, you will also not enjoy.
First off, did you see that smile my boy Eckhart dropped? That boy knows he's dropping bombs. That said, if you've listened to anything Eckhart before, you know he's all about presence. Presence at work, presence in conversations, presence while meditating, presence with your thoughts, etc. He continuously illuminates that all we have is the present moment. The past is no more, and we can't go back to it, nor to the future, as it's an imaginary unknown. The issue is, we as a society, as a whole, tend to spend a lot, and I mean a lot, of time thinking about past and future. And this is where unhappiness with what is can take root. You may actually be in the perfect situation that is delivering to you the opportunity or circumstance you want to achieve, but you have this end goal already in mind, and anything less than that isn't gonna cut it, which can be a very slippery slope. See, on one end, it's an amazing thing if leveraged properly, but on the other end, until you've obtained that perfect situation, you may not allow yourself to be happy, where you are constantly focused on where you're not at, instead of the steps you're actually making to tangibly achieve it. And all too often, that idea of your future self in this dream situation is robbing you of the gift of life in front of you, and can hide any enjoyment you might get out of your current situation. So what can you do? My guy Eckhart tends to vibe on acceptance of the situation. But after I share this cut with you, I have a little mind hack I've used throughout my journey that I want to share with you today.
Can you accept that this is what you're doing right now? Not for the rest of your life, not even perhaps for the whole year, who knows, but just right now, this is all there is right now. So I might as well accept that this is what I'm doing right now. Before you know it, there is no clear dividing line between acceptance and enjoyment. Somewhere they merge. So if you begin with acceptance, you may find suddenly there's even some enjoyment there.
Now, before I share this mind hack, I do want to preface this by saying some of you might be in truly toxic environments at work or in life. Mind shifts alone aren't going to solve those particular situations, and you may very likely need to remove yourself from that situation. But for everyone else that just feels in a rut, this is for you. So story time. Before I founded Brushy, ever since I can remember, I wanted to be a sports agent and represent NFL athletes. I mean, since I was a young boy. That's what I wanted to do, and I know I wanted to do it. You know, for all you movie buffs out there, it was a little Tom Cruise, Jerry Maguire action.
Show me the money! Show me the money!
But to be that guy for the NFL, you have to go to law school. So that was that. Crush the LSAT, get accepted to a top-tier law program, graduate, and make historical impact on the league and player representation as we know it. Issue is, the LSAT did not come easy to the boy at all. I spent countless hours grinding in prep courses, grinding after class until the library closed. And I would go to a study area in the dorm and keep it running until I couldn't go anymore. It was definitely not one of my favorite activities, but I had to do what I had to do, and we do what's necessary. Before I accepted it. It wasn't something I fought against. Instead, I leaned into it. And the trick I used to adjust my perception was to tell myself a story about the situation that served me. See, before every library session, I had a track. And back then it was Lloyd Banks' Make It Stat.
Let's get this money, then let's make it stat, then let's make it.
And I used to run that on my car on the way to the library and tell myself every time I walked in, I was getting paid. Literally envisioned a check getting written to me every time I showed up at the library. And once I was done hustling, shout out to everybody who lives in Tampa, they'll know this. I would go down Bayshore Boulevard and just take my car and just drive down it and drive back around. It's a very nice area that's alongside of some water, has some beautiful houses. I would just say literally to myself, this is what you're doing this for. That was the game for me that allowed me to shift this into, oh, this is the hustle so that you can get this. This is the grind so that you can achieve this. This is the process you're going through so that when you hit this, it's all sweet love. And it was sweet love throughout the process because I made that a part of my frame, which served me at that time to go into this and be like, all right, let's get this. So I would suggest trying this. Whatever situation you're at that is catapulting you to where you want to go, but you might not find enjoyment in it, find some mind hack. Find some leverage point that you know will serve your personality and vibe off it. Lean into it. If it serves you and it hurts no one, make a story around it to tell yourself and don't stop. Watch as the magic unfolds, because that same stuff you used to disdain doing can become a turnout, quick. As some of you may know, Boy was accepted in law school, everything went as planned, and I decided to decline my admission to pursue Brushy as I discovered my passion truly lied in creating. That entire experience taught me how to work with my mind to find frames that will serve and allow me to enjoy the process. And everyone's mind, everyone's why, everyone's personality will be a bit different depending on what it is you want to accomplish. Just find what works for you. Before I drop, I want to leave this with you.
In order to live consciously and sanely, you have to be in either one of these three modalities. If you're neither in acceptance, nor enjoyment, nor enthusiasm, you are somewhere in dysfunction, and you're creating unhappiness and suffering for yourself, and that usually implies you're also creating suffering for others, because unhappy humans make others unhappy too.
Don't be that person for yourself or others around you. Accept the situation, find ways to enjoy the situation, or leave the situation. It's that simple. Much love.